The Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. The Chamber of Secrets. Harry banged the lids of his trunks shut and locked them. Let's see, I said. I think that's the very thing. Yeah. Only one thing left. He pulled out his wand and turned it down. Awfully sorry, boys, but I have to put a memory charm on you now. Can't have you babbling my secrets all over the place. I'd never sell another book. Harry reached his wand just in time. Lockhart has barely raised his when Harry bellowed. Expelliarmus! Lockhart was blasted backwards, falling off his trunk. His wand flew high into the air. Ron caught it and flung it out of the open window. Should I have let Professor Snape teach us that one? Said Harry furiously, kicking Lockhart's trunk aside. Lockhart was looking up at him, reading once more. Harry was still pointing his wand at him. What did you want me to? Said Lockhart weakly. I don't know what the Chamber of Secrets is. There's nothing I can do. You're in luck, said Harry, forcing Lockhart to his feet at one point. We think we know where it is and what's inside it. Let's go. They marched Lockhart out of his office and down the nearest stairs, down the dark corridor where the messages shone on the wall, to the door of Martin Mitter's bathroom. They sent Lockhart in first. Harry was pleased to see what was shaking. Martin Mitter was sitting on the cistern of the ant toilet. Oh, it's... Oh, it's you, she said. Fluency, so Harry. What do you want this time? To ask you how you died, said Harry. Mrs. Hall aspect changed at once. She looked as though she had never been asked such a flattering question. Oh, that was dreadful, she said with relish. It happened right in here. I died in this very subsicle. I remember it so well. I hid it because Olive Hornby was teasing me about my glasses. The door was locked, and I was crying, and then I heard somebody come in. They said something funny, a different language. I think it must have been... what really got me was that it was a boy speaking. So I unlocked the door to tell him to go and use his own toilet, and then Myrtle swallowed importantly, her face shining. I died. How? Said Harry. No idea, said Myrtle in hushed tones. I just remember seeing a pair of great big yellow eyes. My full body sort of seized up and I was floating away. She looked dreamily at Harry. And then I came back again. I was determined to hunt Olive Hornby, you see. Oh, she was sorry she'd ever lost my glasses. Where exactly did you see the eyes? Somewhere there, said Myrtle, pointing regularly towards the sink in front of the toilet. Harry and Ron hurried over to him. Lockhart was standing well back, a look of horror in her face. It looked like an ordinary sink. They examined every inch of it, inside and out, including the pipes below. And then Harry saw it, scratches on the side of the copper taps with a tiny snake. That taps never worked, said Myrtle brightly as he tried to turn it. Harry, said Ron, say something in a personal tone. But Harry thought hard. The only times he'd ever managed to speak personal tone, he'd been faced with a real snake. He stared hard at the tiny and growing, trying to imagine it was real. Open up, he said, and looked at Ron, who shook his head. English, he said. Harry looked back at the snake, wanting himself to believe it was alive. If it moved his head, the candlelight made it look as though it was moving. Open up, he said, except that the words weren't that he heard. A strange hissing had escaped him, and at once the tap glowed with a brilliant light and began to spin. Next second, the sink began to move. The sink, in fact, sank right out of sight, and leaving a large pipe exposed, a pipe wide enough for a man to slide into. Harry heard Ron gasp and looked up again. Harry made his up when he was going to. I'm going down here, he said. He couldn't now go, and I was again from the chamber to the chamber. Now there was even the faintest, sweetest chance that Jimmy must be alive. Me too, said Ron. There was a pause. Well, you hardly seem to need me, said Lockhart, with a shadow of his cold smile. I'll just... He put his hand on the doorknob, but Ron and Harry both pointed their wands at him. You can go first, said Ron snapped. White-faced and wordless old Lockhart approached beyond me. Boys, he said, he was weeping. Boys, what good will it do? Harry tapped him in the back with his wand. Lockhart slid his legs into the pipe. I really don't think, he started to say, but Ron gave him a push and he slid out of sight. He followed quickly. He lowered himself slowly into the pile, then let go. It was like rushing down an endless limited slide. You could see more pipes branching off in all directions, but not as large as theirs, which twisted and turned, sloping dreamily downwards. And he knew what he was falling deeper below the school. Then even the dungeons. Behind him they could hear Ron shouting slightly at the curse. Harry stood aside as Ron came whizzing out of the pipe too. "We must be miles under the school," said Harry. Onto the lake, probably, said Loomis, Harry muttered to his wont and lit again. "Come on," he said to Ron and Lockhart. And off they went, their footsteps splapping loudly on the wet floor. The tunnel was so dark that they could only see a little distance ahead. The shadows of the wet walls looked monstrous in the warm light. Remember, Harry said quietly as they walked cautiously forward. "Any sign of movement, close your eyes straight away." But the tunnel was quiet as the grave, and the first unexpected sound they heard was a loud crunch as Ron stepped out what turned out to be a rat's skull. I wanted to look at the floor and saw it was littered with small animal bones. Trying very hard not to imagine that Ginny might look like it if they found her, Harry led the way forward, round the dark bend in the tunnel. "Harry, there's something up here," said Ron nervously, grabbing Harry's shoulder. They froze, watching. Harry could just see the outline of something huge and curved lying across the tunnel. It wasn't moving. "Maybe it's asleep," he breathed, glancing back at the other two. Lockhart's hands were pressed over his eyes. Harry turned back to look at the thing, his heart beating so fast it hurt. Horace lowered his eyes as narrow as he could make them and still see. Harry edged forward, his wand held high. The high slit of the gigantic skin of a weird poisonous green lion, grinning and because the tunnel room. The creature that had shed it might have been 20 feet long at least. Blimey. Blimey, said Ron weakly. There was a sudden movement behind him. Gilderoy Lockhart! Knees had given the way. "Get up," said Ron sharply. Portly swallowed Lockhart. Lockhart got to his feet. What he did at Ron knocking him to the ground. Harry jumped forward, but too late. Lockhart was straightened up, panting. Ron's wand in his hand and a gleaming smile back on his face. "The adventure ends here, boys," he said. "I shall take a big of this skin back up to the school, tell them I was too late to save the girl, and that you two tragically lost your minds at the sight of the mangled body. Say goodbye to your memories." He raised Ron's spellate wand over his head and yelled, "Obliviate!" The wand exploded with the force of a small bomb. Harry flung his arms over his head and ran, slipping away the coils of snake skin out of the way of great chunks. Next moment he was standing alone, gazing at a solid wall of broken rock. "Ron!" he shouted. "Are you okay? Ron!" "I'm here," came Ron's muffled voice, reading the cockfowl. "I'm okay. This gets nutted though. He got blasted by the wand." There was a dull thud and a loud "ow." It sounded like as though Ron just kicked Lockhart in the chins. "What now?" Ron's voice said, sounded desperate. "We can't get through. It will take ages." Harry looked up at the tunnel ceiling. Huge cracks had appeared in it. He had never tried to break apart anything else large at these rocks by magic, and now it didn't seem like a good moment to try. What if he were to diamond caved in? There was another stud and another owl from behind the rocks. They were wasting time. Ginny had already been in the Chamber of Secrets for hours. Harry knew there was only one thing to do. "Wait here," he called to Ron. Wait with Lockhart. I'll go on, not back in an hour." There was a very pregnant pause. "A tiny gypsum of shit rock," said Ron, who seemed to be trying to keep his voice steady. "So you can back, though. And to Harry, see you in a bit, said Harry, trying to inject some confidence to his chin.
Ну це тут дві ближче, напевно.
He set off along past the giant snake. Soon the giant noise of once ready to shift the rock was done. The top... Ні, зрубати тобі, ти зло, бляха-муха. Ні, ні, ні. He set off along past the giant snake's in the distance noise of one straining to shift the rocks was gone. The tunnel turned and turned again. Every nerve in Harry's body was tingling unpleasantly. He wanted the tunnel to end. He had dreaded that he'd found what it did. And then, at last, he crept around.
Там так виходиш, може, на набережну, типу, що так дивишся.
Yet around Benny was a solid wall, the head of which two even serpents were carved. The eyes set with great gleaming emeralds. Harry perched his thought worried by. There was no need to pretend these stone shapes were real. The eyes looked frighteningly alive. Because what he had to do, he cleared his throat, the emerald faced him. Open, said Harry in a low voice. The serpents patted as the wall cracked open. The slim newly out of sight, and Harry, shaking from head to foot, walked inside.